What's up, Scott?
Hey Josh, how are you?
Doing good. I'm just right up the coast from you.
Oh, are you? Nice.
Yeah, I'm in Sullivan's.
I just realized I didn't have a couple of hard drives hooked in here. There they go. All right. That's what I was. So what brings you to the coast? Just sunshine, warm weather, the ocean?
Man, just getting away.
Sometimes you need that. For
Yes.
sure. All right. I have a feeling this is going to be kind of short and sweet tonight, Josh. It is actually 7:03, so I'm a little late on starting, but we're going to go ahead and start officially, and then we'll see how this goes. As always, I'd like to start by welcoming those that have joined me on the call tonight. Also, I would like to welcome anybody that may be watching on our live stream on YouTube, and also a welcome to anybody that's watching as a recording on YouTube. If you do happen to be watching YouTube as live stream, please take note that we are not monitoring the comment section on the YouTube. So if you do have any comments, questions, and or concerns, leave them down below in the comment section, and we will address them hopefully within the next 24 hours. Also, I'd like to state that all of our meetings are an environment of education and awareness and not an open market for the sale, purchase, or distribution of cannabis. We do not encourage or condone illegal behavior of any kind. All right, bear with me 1 second while I take a sip. And kind of get to well, the topic that I published, and after I kind of published it yesterday, I realized, oh heck, we're already at the second Tuesday of the month. It should be our regular normal monthly meeting. So we'll kind of try and touch a little bit on both things. But what I did really kind of promote this meeting tonight about was the cannabis conversation evolves, or evolution, or something about that. But it looks like some changes may be coming to our Zoom call over the next couple of, I'm going to say, weeks, months. Our board secretary, Vaughn Postema, has worked in podcasting and has worked with big networks like, oh, what's that kids network now? I forget. Anyway, but working a lot through the internet to California time. And changing in time zones can be kind of play havoc on your ability to function in the time zone you live in. And so Vaughn has not been as active as she had hoped to have been with our cannabis conversations up until now. But it looks like she has accepted a position with a company based right here in Charleston, putting her now on Eastern hours, hopefully being able to normalize her schedule in her own home hours. And she said that she would like to help us take the cannabis conversation to the next level with her knowledge and background in marketing and also in broadcasting, podcasting, storytelling, that kind of thing. We'll give you a little bit more info on Vaughn as we move forward. And you can always check out her bio on our website, scnormal.org. I'll share the link with you in a second here. And that will tell you a little bit about actually all of our board members. But I'm kind of looking forward to that, and I'm hoping it all pans out. As those who join us regularly know, I recently accepted a new position at the local county park. It's been, look at the calendar here, roughly 3 months now, I think, since the first day I started. And I got a phone call Monday afternoon. I think it was Monday afternoon, asking if I'd be interested in being a park ranger. Park ranger at the local county park is kind of like, you know, the night watchman or something like that. You go around, you check the locks on the doors, make everything closed up and secure, and check all the different buildings and make sure nobody's sleeping in parking lots. And I thought it sounded interesting. And it was a promotion, basically, monetarily, and I think well, at least monetarily. The one problem for me, though, is it will somewhat conflict with our cannabis conversation hours that we've set, and we've been running for a couple of years now at this 7 o'clock time slot. I love this 7 o'clock time slot. I think this is, bear with me a moment here. There we go. Yeah, I love this 7 o'clock time slot. I think this is a great spot. But being offered this new position at work, my shift starts at basically 7:45 p.m. Any day of the week. I'm hoping that as I move forward and I'll be able to ask the manager, the supervisor, can I work a different shift on Wednesday so that I can be available here for the call. But that's also another reason why I'm happy to talk about Vaughn hopefully taking over the call for us and moving forward over the next couple of months. I'm going to drop that link down here again real quick for Candace, who just joined us. And just to backtrack a little so we can help her catch up. Our board secretary, Vaughn Postema, has been working with, spending most of her employed time with companies that are based out in California, working remotely here from South Carolina, and working on California time, and how that has kind of thrown a little bit of a wrench in her works on trying to participate in our cannabis conversations as much as she had originally hoped to. But she's recently announced that she's accepted a position with a local company right here out of Charleston, working basically in the same field as my understanding. Don't quote me on it. But she's got background in podcasting and broadcasting and working. I'm going to remember the name of this network yet. But being a personality and being a speaker type of thing, and she's offered to now that she's working on Eastern time scheduling, she feels that she'll be able to contribute to our cannabis conversation here, and hopefully, I'm going to cross my fingers a little bit on this, hopefully kind of take the reins from it on me for all but the second Wednesday of the month call. My plan is moving forward, if it works out well, I'll still kind of do the check-in once a month on the second Wednesday call. That is normally our public meeting, talking about what's going on politically around the state and around the nation. But my hope is the evolution is Vaughn kind of takes a lot of the weight off my shoulders. I still plan to participate. But as you guys know, sometimes it's just an hour of me kind of rambling. And I think she can really add a lot of value to our cannabis calls. So I'm looking forward to that over the next few weeks. I believe she accepts the actual new position in about 2 weeks. And then once she kind of gets acclimated. So I'm thinking, as we move into September, she should probably start taking over the cannabis conversations. Again, I'm looking forward to that. That'll give me a little bit more time to try and keep up with what's going on in the political races. There's a lot of the stuff at national level going on now. I don't even want to, put my fingers in my ears. I don't even want to hear the hot air. If it's not about cannabis, I'm really not as concerned about it. So that's kind of what's happening. Is the hope is Vaughn's going to start taking over, kind of be the next phase of cannabis conversation. I plan on participating as a co-host or as a participant, as a viewer and listener. And I am hoping that the new job position doesn't interfere with that too much. They've been good about it so far, and it's basically the same organization, a different division in the organization, but the same organization. So, and like I said, I've been pretty accommodating so far. So I'm hoping that they somehow or another tweak my schedule so that I can always be available on Wednesday evenings for the call. Any thoughts or questions or comments on what you might like to see on the call as one kind of comes on board? Any topics? I know we've kind of asked these questions before on some of our other calls. I've probably written them down, and they may even be on a note buried on my desk here somewhere. But that's something to kind of keep in mind. Oh, and just looking up at my screen, this kind of just popped into my head as I'm looking at the two of the participants on the call this evening. I did have a call earlier this week with one of the participants, Candace Thompson, and she tells me she is from the Columbia area. I was telling Candace a little bit about another one of our very active participants who's from the Columbia area, and that would be DJ Josh. So I kind of wanted to point it out that I wanted to introduce the two of you.
That is awesome. Yes, thank you, Scott. Hello.
Yeah. Josh has been out, like I said, he came out with me to Soda City event that we did in January. We left him with some signs and a little bit of materials to hand out. So he went to the Capitol and spent the day on the steps there at the Capitol one day. And I believe he's been kind of, looking for collaboration in that area, as I've probably mentioned to both of you at one point or another, to start a subchapter off the South Carolina chapter. We'd be looking for basically 4 people that would kind of be able to dedicate time to running that chapter and kind of doing what we're trying to restart again here is those monthly events. Whether it's just meeting a group out for coffee somewhere, or whether it's actually, being out at a, putting up an informational booth somewhere at a craft fair, or protesting right outside of the Capitol. All those things are kind of important, and I'd love to see, like I say, a founded chapter there to be able to keep that up on a regular basis, because it is challenging to keep up and do a monthly event, especially year after year. Trust me, it's been so easy to kind of stall out on the in-persons and do everything on YouTube, but it's not nearly as effective as getting out there in the public and having our face seen, having our logo seen, having people get our materials into their hand and hopefully participate. So
Yeah, I'm not sure how to reach out, but you can find me. I'm on all the social medias.
see who's here. Yeah, you're on everything as DJ Josh too, I'm pretty sure, aren't you? Everything I've tracked it down on.
Yes, yeah, everything's tied to that, I guess.
All right, and I just put my contact information in the chat as well. But most definitely, we can connect. I've been talking with Scott about some exciting ideas that's coming on as like a possible event coordinator. So I just moved well, I'm in Blythewood. You know where Blythewood is?
Yes, I'm in Lexington, so you're just up 20 or 77.
Gotcha. Okay. Yes. So within that area, and we definitely want to get some more word out about legalizing the plant. So I'm excited to start and give my contribution.
Yeah, and like it says in the name, I'm a DJ, so I've been in the field of doing private events and putting on charitable events for over 20 years. So feel free to reach out and lean on me. And I have all sound equipment, light equipment, to do like stuff for 10,000 people. So
absolutely, I actually need a DJ. So yes, we will work.
Yes, yes. All right, I like.
Thank you.
I was hoping we could get some click there. Yeah, Wednesday evenings, depending on topic, they're usually pretty loosely structured. At least they have been. There are sometimes, and I'm going to say they're kind of rare, when we might have a special guest on. We haven't had any on lately. Or sometimes we'll schedule just sort of an open call to discuss whatever anybody wants to discuss. I don't know exactly how Vaughn wants to take this as we evolve. But one thing, and I'm kind of glad you brought it up here, because one thing that was brought up to me a while back was, and I don't know if it's Josh or Shane, but anyway, somebody had mentioned, hey, why do you always kind of just wrap it up at 8 o'clock? I think some of us would like to hang out and just chat a little bit and have open discussion and throw our thoughts out there. And I'm like, gee, okay. It sort of reminded me of back in my young days when, if the pastor of the church wasn't done like 59 minutes after he started, everybody in the church got restless and wanted to go. Your hour's up, pastor. Your hour's up. I don't know. That was sort of my mindset. Thought it was to be courteous and kind of wrap things up, stop dragging people along. But we've open-ended more and more of our calls now, so that if somebody just says, "Hey, I want to talk a little bit. Who are these people that are on the call with us tonight? I'd like to get to know them a little bit. Where's everybody from?" We'll do that every now and again. So yes, Wednesday evenings are kind of my way of trying to keep at least some pulse on what other people that are active in cannabis in South Carolina, what they're doing as well. Excuse me. All right. Okay, so Joey's here. Let's just wrap this up and say good night. Hi, Joey. How you doing? Before I go into a whole recap on kind of what we were discussing here, let me just take a quick peek at chat, see if anybody else has dropped anything in there. Real quick recap, our main topic tonight, and then I'm going to move on actually. Our main topic tonight was the evolution of our cannabis call. And as some of you may have met on our cannabis call in the past, Vaughn Postema, our board secretary, She is planning on starting early September, I believe, and over the next couple of months, going to be transitioning into the host of our cannabis conversation, or at least like my co-host, something along those lines, to help cover for me, I guess is the best way to put it. As you all know, and Joey, and I know you knew this, as I took that new job at the county park. Well, just the other day, they offered me a new position that would require me to leave the house at about 7:30 p.m. About the middle of most of our calls. So they've been pretty good with me on my day shifts, working with that department, the day shift department, on working around my desire not to work late on Wednesdays. And they haven't scheduled me on a Wednesday since I started there 3 months ago, in the evening. But this is a new department, and again, I don't know how much flexibility I will have. And it'll be nice to have Vaughn put a new spin on this, put some new eyes on it, put some new information to it, give us a whole new perspective than just listening to me week after week. So I am really looking forward to that. Again, we will keep it open over as we move over the next couple of weeks here. If anybody has thoughts or suggestions on things they'd like to see, just kind of keep us posted, and I will pass that info on to Vaughn. And again, my plan will be to continue to host the second Wednesday of the month, which will be our local chapter meeting. And talking about that, let's kind of touch base on what's going on in the world of politics. Of course, I wasn't thinking about talking about this tonight because I was thinking about this evolution that's going on, and the new job change is kind of threw me off a little bit. But for the most part, as we spoke about last week, we do have the new Senate bill of the Cannabis Administration and Opportunity Act that was submitted. I think I have a couple update emails that I haven't read yet about it, but there's not a whole lot new on that. And again, there's no anticipation of that bill passing this year, really going too far of anywhere this year. But it has been reintroduced. Again, federal level, we always kind of talk about our homegrown Nancy Mace here, and her States Reform Act. Again, not a bad descheduling bill. Her election will be a big deciding factor on where that bill goes. These November elections, that'll be at least a deciding factor. If she's voted out of that position, it's a moot subject. And of course, the MORE Act that moved out of the House months ago. Trying to look at my notes here real quick. I thought I saw something, but I'm not seeing it now. Okay. Now, the last thing is what we were talking about a couple of times over the past few weeks, is the National Defense Authorization Act, the NDAA. And there have been added to that a number of cannabis positive provisions, including the Safe Banking Act, the Veterans Equal Access Act. Those are the two that I'm looking at now. And I know it would also protect vets from cannabis discrimination. I want to say in mortgaging. Again, not completely prepared on that one. That's the biggest thing kind of going on right now. I am going to drop another link once I find it here, into the chat. This is one from National, to a take action link to contact your senators and let them know to keep those cannabis supporting provisions in the National Defense Authorization Act. So again, that's one of those kind of go and you have a pre-written letter. You're welcome to add and or edit the letter if you like. Based on your address, it will select your legislators for you. And let's let them know that we support this. There have been a couple of efforts to try and get the Safe Banking Act passed over the past, I want to say, year and a half, if not longer. It's been added on to some other bills here and there. Again, there was another defense spending bill that was attached to, I want to say, earlier this year. Don't know why it keeps getting shot down. There's so many, 37 states and counting that have a cannabis market, and those cannabis markets need access to banking services. Anyway, that's kind of what's going on national level. I don't think I've missed anything on that. You've got, of course, your international news with sporting athletes in Russia and stuff like that, but that's kind of outside of my realm. And as you know, we are mid, I guess, what do you call it? The I want to say dead fish, and that's not the phrase for it. Lame duck. We're kind of like in the lame duck portion of our legislation this year. Nothing will be happening until after the election, and basically, as the new legislators are reintroduced or introduced in January, and at that time, unless he files early, we'll see Tom Davis refiling the Compassionate Care Act, either in December, which would be early file, or as they start session. Now I gotta go look at my calendar. January, I want to say the 14th, and that sounds kind of late. January 10th, second Tuesday of January. That will be the start of our next South Carolina legislative session. With that said, we are at a point where I wrote it down last time, I think, and now I gotta find it. Oh, no, it's a different call. Never mind. We will be looking for some help moving forward on getting our candidate questionnaire out to these candidates, especially as we start to breach the Labor Day threshold. I don't think so. As the primary sponsor, it would probably have to be reintroduced. And it doesn't mean they can't just copy and paste. Josh put in the chat here, couldn't a co-sponsor carry the Mace bill over if she's not reelected? I don't think so. I think if the primary sponsor, valid question, but yeah, I think it would have to be reintroduced. And again, it hasn't gone anywhere. It's in whatever committee it was originally assigned to. Once it was introduced. So I don't think it would be a major setback for it. But yeah, interesting question. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna stick with my answer. I'm pretty sure it's no, it'd have to be reintroduced. Again, they could copy and paste, but it would have to be reintroduced. So hoping I'm right. All right, where was I before? I just kind of started that. Oh, I was kind of backtracking onto our smoke the vote. Guide that is going to be coming live just around the beginning of September for the public view. And once I kind of get these waters to settle a little bit with the job shift, I'll get back in there and start directing our questionnaire out to the different candidates that are on this that may have not answered us yet. And I want to kind of put it out there as well, if somebody's interested. I believe I'm able to assign a couple of other people to kind of come on board as editors and or admin kind of positions on that software for the Smoke the Vote guide that could help me whittle it down. There's like 124 seats up, I believe, in the state. The House seats, I'm not sure if everyone's up for election this year or not. But I'm pretty sure most are. Some uncontested, so those are moot races. But you'll hear more about that from me again, hopefully second Wednesdays of every month, and hopefully then Vaughn can share other info with you besides election stuff. Because that's where my focus is shifting quickly. I want to scroll back up. Did somebody ask me? Oh, I want to revisit this comment Candace made. I don't know if maybe I understood it. Did you want me to kind of note the upcoming events that we have recently started to schedule here at the state chapter?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I misread that. Let me go ahead and these are very loose at the moment, loosely planned at the moment. Copy, paste, paste. Okay. Kind of the top four highlighted on this web page on our website. August 27th, that'll be a Saturday. It's going to be from 8 a.m. We'll probably have to get there a little earlier for setup till 1 p.m. It's going to be at Marion Square in Charleston, basically the corner of King Street and Calhoun Street. Those have been with me on these calls regularly know there's a little bit of a what's the best word to look for? A little bit of a challenge in this setup. I had applied to be a nonprofit vendor at the farmers market at Marion Square back in 2017 and was declined on the basis of the director of that program felt if they allowed us there, it would look like they supported our cause, and they could not do that. I didn't really think of it at the time. I wasn't as aware at the time that a government agent can't censor our free speech and that they should have allowed us to be there. But I didn't click with me for a couple of years. And it must have been like 2 years later, maybe just a little bit pre-COVID, where I started going, hey, you know, you can't just say no. We have a First Amendment right to have our free speech, and you ask for nonprofits, and so they're like, well, okay, reapply next time we post the nonprofit applications. You know, they'll be coming around the corner soon for the next coming season. And then the next coming season, COVID hit, and they shut down the market altogether. And now it's been, you know, 2 more years, and an application has never been posted. So my attitude of it is, it's a public park. We're well within any Charleston ordinances to be there as a small group of under 25 people. And that could be probably every member of our organization there, and we still would be under 25. Handing out brochures and stuff to the public, passing out free information. Hang on, free marijuana information. There we go. Free marijuana information. There we go. Got it. Oh, good night, Josh. He's already gone. So that's there's that one at Marion Square. I am planning to do September 17th, the day at the beach, Folly Beach, 3rd Street East, just like 2 blocks away from the famous Birch Market on Folly. Then there is a picnic loosely planned for October, no set park location. I have a couple in mind. And last but not least on the list is November 13th, Charleston Pride Festival at Riverfront Park in North Charleston. All right, lost a couple people while I went through that little list there. Anywho, that's what we've got kind of planned coming up. You'll hear more. I have posted some about the Marion Square. We'll do more of that again over the next 2 weeks. Try and get that promoted a little bit. Try and get some folks out to come visit us. Day at the beach. My plan on this is to take advantage of my newfound position at the county park and park my vehicle in a county parking lot just about a block from the beach. And that way I can load a pop-up along and, you know, a couple of extra items so that we can have a little bit of shade and some brochures to hand out and some banners to hang on our pop-up, and again, just kind of advocate on the beach. And then, like I say, the picnic and Pride Festival, we've always had a great time at Pride Festival. Usually a good turnout. Weather has dampened it once or twice, but overall real good. Sorry about that. I ran out of breath here for a second. I know. I want to welcome you. I saw you come in for a little while ago. We were a little bit late, a little bit later in the call.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Good evening. This day.
Yeah.
This day's going by fast. I looked up and it's already 7 o'clock.
Yeah. The day goes by sometimes, and that's why part of the conversation we were talking tonight, the evolution of these conversations. I still like the 7 o'clock time slot. Our board secretary Vaughn Postema is offering to kind of take over most of the calls in case my job conflicts with it, because I have this new position. You knew I got the job at the park, but they just offered me to become a park ranger, which is kind of a fancy title for a night watchman on the property, make sure everything's locked up and people aren't sleeping in their cars in parking lots and weird stuff like that.
Well, congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, I was I like the idea. And although the hours are a little challenging, I don't think they're going to be a problem at all. It's, you know, the shift's either 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. or 2 a.m. to 8 a.m. And Yeah, so most of it's in the dark. Perfect for me. I'm in the dark quite often. And, but yeah, it sounds kind of fun. I went on a trial run just the other night and just last night, actually. I'm losing track of time with the odd sleep. And I'm excited about it. It should be fun. But the hours may kind of conflict a little bit with kind of running meetings from time to time. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. It didn't before and it's been 3 months since I started with the parks. So I'm hoping I can kind of work it with the schedulers to not have a conflict here.
And they'll have to replace you then, won't they? Or that job is fizzled going away.
I'm sorry, what was that?
The job that you'd had before, they're gonna replace somebody for that job?
Oh, yeah, yeah. They definitely still need people at the front gate and things like that. But depending on the shift, sometimes they can get away with like a high schooler doing some of it. If the high schooler only works it goes to school half a day, or I don't know. But yeah, this one pays a little bit more, so I was excited about that. And I think it's gonna be kind of fun instead of standing out in the heat like I do most of the time as a gate person. I'll be sitting in a pickup truck with either air or heat or whatever I need.
Is that
Just kind of drive.
full-time or still part-time seasonal or?
It's still part-time. It'll be year-round, but it'll be part-time.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't need the benefits. You know, my wife's got real good medical benefits for us, so I'm not too worried about the part-time, full-time aspect of it. But yeah, it'll be fun. And like I say, a lot of it's you know, it's self-motivating. You're there by yourself in the middle of the night. Nobody to bother you. Anyway, gang, I'm going to kind of call it a little bit early tonight. I see we're at just about 7:45. Again, being off season, not a whole lot politically to talk about in the cannabis realm right now. And last I can really think to say tonight is, well, second last tonight. If you get a chance and you're in the area of any of the upcoming events that we have, come on out and visit with us or participate with us. And as always, come on out and see us next Wednesday at 7 p.m. here on the South Carolina NORML Cannabis Conversation. Thank you all for joining me. Have a great night.